What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about ACH Alchemy Pay for Fonzie. You requested this one, my man, so we're going to talk about it for you. You know, I forget what my last video was. I don't remember if I was bullish or bearish. I don't remember. Maybe I was saying this was the low, that I thought this was the low. Let's see. At the moment, it looks like it wants to go a little bit lower, but let's see. Yeah, here, okay. So if I did say it would go lower, I'm sure I said that it would go around this 1 to 0.888 cents area, somewhere around there, forming all in all a higher low. Maybe you do get a double bottom or something like that, but I would think that you would go here. This look overall kind of convinces me of that. I feel like my last video that I made on this thing, it might have been before this week, and it might have looked like this was a decent bottom. You know, you were breaking back above your 618, you closed above it even, which is awesome, but you didn't get confirmation, you came back down. So I really don't remember what my last video was of this. I feel like it was bullish though, so I want to just say that, you know, it's definitely changed. My perspective has changed on this. I think that unless it was bearish, in which case, you know, my perspective stays the same, because we are, you know, overall lower highs, lower lows, and you know, whatever my perspective was in the last video, I'm sure that I mentioned these lines down here. Finding significance, besides trying to clear my good name, finding significance on the 618 like this, you know, time and time again in this area. You did go below it, yes, on your first pass, yes, but you kind of held in this area and you came back above it. I very much would not expect that you see extensions, but deep retracements, which are the 786 to the 886, again being around like 1.1 cents toward like 8.8 cents, somewhere in there, is what I would think. Let's see, what is this? Is this actually? It's at 9. No, I'm sorry, 1.1 cents to 9/10 of a cent. That's 9/100ths of a dollar. No, 9/1000ths of a dollar. 0.009, something like that. 0.009 to 0.011, somewhere down there is what I would think would be appropriate for this thing. If we take a low to a high, you can see that. Look at that, man. Your 1618 is right here next to the 786, also coming in line with this previous low right here, like literally to a T. Previous area of support, a little bit of resistance there. I think you go lower. I do think you go lower. Looking at the weekly RSI, man, it looked very bullish for a second there. You got out, you couldn't even touch your oversold zone, and you got out of your bearish area of control, but you're back in it. You didn't stay out of it, so that's the bad thing. You probably do go into your oversold zone. You know, I think this was just prolonging the inevitable. It looked good for the time being, but it just didn't continue to look good. So let's see, and you found resistance not at the same area, but close enough to this previous area where you found resistance time and time again. So I think you go into the oversold zone. Maybe you don't go this deep, but a little bit in it. So you probably won't find your low until, if you look at the weekly RSI, if you have it to the same settings that I do, which is the 10, maybe you have it at the 12, maybe you have it at the 14, whatever. But you know, if we look at this thing, for example, you know, if it's on the 14, it's a little bit higher, so it might not look the same. If it's on the 10, it'll be a little bit lower, and then the 12 would be somewhere in between. But I would think that you do get into your oversold zone. So if your weekly is on the 10, like mine is, look for that. And I wouldn't say that the first bit of being in the oversold zone means that we're at the low. I wouldn't say that, but that we're getting there. We're closer to it. And right now, this to the 786 to the 886, that's pretty far away. It doesn't look that far away, but that is, you know, that's a 19% drop to potentially a 33% drop. So if you bought now and you were down 19% to 33%, you know, that's not going to feel too good. So I would bet we start getting into our oversold zone on the weekly before we even hit this 786. So, you know, again, first sign of being in the oversold zone doesn't mean that it's time to go, that we're at the low itself and it's turning around. It just means we're getting close. It means we're getting close. You can see here, oversold zone, we stayed in it for a while. We stayed in it for a while. We stayed in it for a little while. We stayed in it for a little while, but we did not get into it and then flip back out the next week, right? And we can look at how that reacted with the price, just for comparison. This isn't a whole lot to go off of, right? Don't hold this to a T, because this is only like really one instance of a low point in this thing's history. It's very short history, so we're going off of this, but you can see here it got into the oversold zone first right here, continued to go down for months, and then it was still in the oversold zone when it bottomed, and it continued to go up here. But then ultimately, you went back into your oversold zone here and just continued to go down. You had little fake wicks up and then continued to go down. All in all, each time you got into the oversold zone, there were multiple weeks where you continued to head down. So again, getting into this oversold zone, just really hitting that on the head, does not mean that it's over yet. I would say that it means we're close to over, and you probably won't find your low until you've hit the oversold zone. But lower is where I think you're heading, probably around 1.1 to $0.009 dollars, something like that. Yeah. $0.011 to $0.009, somewhere in there, somewhere at these low points over here is what I would think. So anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I think we're going down from here, and then Alchemy Pay, it might be getting ready to do some kind of very bullish bottoming pattern where you get this nice like W here, something like that, very classic kind of formation, but we'll see. Time will tell. This is on a weekly, there's a lot of time. It'll probably be into next year before we get this kind of like look or something like that. It might keep going down till like the end of this year, and then the beginning of next year we can start talking about upside, but who knows. We'll keep you posted on this thing week to week and just see how it goes. So yeah, take care everybody, have a good night. Thank you very much. Bye bye.